The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Hek'ma Harrison, DeMontre Moore, and Newy Scruggs.
Hey, everybody, it is time for the Players Lounge. Welcome in here to the Star in Frisco, the SWBC podcast studios in Frisco, Texas.
Yeah.
National headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. The crew
See
is
that.
here. Hek'ma Harrison is here. Trey Moore, former Dallas Cowboy, is here. I am Newy Scruggs. This show is brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Free agency is going on here, and the Cowboys have been very active. So I'll start with you, Hek'ma Harrison. Are you happy with what you've seen so far?
Early, I'm not. I'm not. And I think that we were going to make some moves. I felt like we were. I was looking for, like the rest of Cowboy Nation, I'm looking for game changers. And I didn't the selective aggressiveness, is that the word? Is it selective? Okay. Selective aggressive. And trying to decipher what that actually meant, I think I'm getting the definition. We're going to bring in guys that are going to be rotational pieces here early, and it's early. I understand that. You still got a long way to go, right? But I'm still looking at this team and saying, okay, based off of your overall needs, you haven't hit the free agent market strong enough to get those guys that I believe, okay, as a defensive lineman or offensive guard, or these guys are going to be difference makers for this team. They're going to be the cog in the wheel that's actually going to get you to that next level. And that's what we've been looking for. That's what we've been asking for, at least. So, no, so far, I think if I was going to grade where we are right now, I would go C-.
Trey?
Whew, man, you came in hot. Honestly, I wouldn't be as crucial. I would say it's about maybe a C plus B right now. For me, being a journeyman, it hits home for me when you're coming in and people are saying, "Oh, that wasn't the big name guy." Like some of these guys that you're bringing in they're quality pieces. They've shown at different times that they can make plays.
Yeah.
You got Solomon Thomas coming in. I'm biased. I played with him, hardworking guy, coming home, playing for the hometown, being a Cocktail Cowboy, now a Dallas Cowboy. I think that can light a new spark behind you because we got to remember that this guy was a first-round pick. He's been to Super Bowls. He's gotten the big bag. So this guy can transform into somebody. And then as far as the running back situation, y'all know how I feel about that. It wasn't a big splash. It's funny because I looked up that stat. The Cowboys haven't brought in anybody and paid them outside of the house since Greg Hardy. And so it's like, man, like when you think about these numbers, you got to go pay to get that quality. And so for you to go get the running back that you got, it's like, hold on, you bring in a guy that had less than 1,000 yards and you let go 1,000-yard running back that's in-house, like talent like that, for what, $3 million shorter, and he gave you half the production, so I guess it balances out. But for me, it's like when you don't have that many key components, why let these people leave the building? And then, too, like you said, if we're going to let these people leave the building, I'm expecting you to bring in somebody and make that big splash. And this big splash did not happen. Every team, every year, they have to have that big splash, whether it's in free agency or whether it's in the draft. And so I don't want to sit here and say, oh, we're waiting or this and that. They added certain pieces. Like, it's still late. There are still some big name players that are out there that maybe you can go spend for. But historically speaking, it hasn't shown that. So if it ends right here and it goes on that same path, yeah, I'm a little upset, and it's like, it's lackluster. Like, for the Cowboys, where they want to be, for all the hype that's behind it, being America's team, where's America's player? You didn't bring him in, and then you haven't paid America's player and Micah Parsons. That, just added tidbit in there. So it's like, hold on. I'm trying to be graceful and say, hey, maybe they haven't went out and paid somebody that big bag because they're aware they're going to have to pay Micah. And then if they keep waiting the way that they're waiting, all these guys, Miles, Garrett, all these other guys, they keep raising that bar to where you didn't have to give them that much to now that bag is getting higher, so maybe you can't make that splash in free agency. So I'm trying to be patient on it, but right now, C+, maybe B-, because you did add in an offensive guard. You did add in some more rotational pieces as far as D lineman. You got a running back right now, and you still got other things you need to address in the draft. But, yeah, it's a little lackluster right now.
Let me make sure I get this straight listening to you two gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Greg Hardy in 2015 was the last time they went out there and made a splash.
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
Decade.
And you expected it to change? This year?
Nah.
This year?
No, I'm not.
Why?
I'm not.
Why would you?
Well, you wouldn't because, like you said, we see how that situation went, and it's like, I got buyer's remorse.
That's who they are, right?
And that is who they are.
Who they are, right?
But
10 years, you got a decade. We got a decade now. No, they're not. Hey, we going shopping, kids. They drive past that mall.
Yeah. What do you say? And then you get past the mall, you go past Big T. Where are we going? Hold on, we're going to the discount outlet. Oh, man.
Burlington.
Hey, hold on. Don't do Burlington.
You pass.
You get some good stuff. You get some stuff, good stuff over there.
Warehouses.
You going past Burlington.
Right, some warehouses.
But you got to look for it. This is bargain shopping, and you better be looking.
And you can find some good pieces in the bargain shopping, but you can't get everything from the bargain shop. You got to get that one focal piece. When you dress, it's like, okay, cheap vest, cheap shirt, but hey, my necklace is going to be that. Oh, hey, my watch is going to be that. The accessory piece, like, where's the accessory piece for the Cowboys is where I'm asking.
But we know they're not going in free agency the first week and signing a name.
Never.
We got a decade now.
Never.
It's hard. We got a decade now. Don't look for that. What they will do is let's find complementary pieces. Guys can fit here. I will say this. If I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm sitting there like, could I have had some of this last year? A couple pieces last year to help me out?
Fact.
It's going to be the second week if they go and find a quote-unquote name that you're familiar with to say, hey, maybe this guy can do something here or there. As far as the running back goes here, Rico Dowdle going to Carolina for basically the same money that Javonte Williams got. Here's what I would love to know. Where were they at in the negotiation? Where was Rico where were they at that they decided to say, you know what, man, Rico, thank you. We're going to go over here to Javonte Williams, who is also a better third down back in terms of catching the football. I think all three of us are in agreement that the first 2 days, a running back needs to be selected.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, of course. Without a doubt.
And I'm thinking, and if we kind of go with what we've seen with backs drafted that high, this should probably be your RB1. Mm-hmm. So RB1 out of the draft, Javonte Williams, third down back coming in here. Can I live with that? I can live with that. You covered Ashton Genty. You want to tell me it's Ashton Genty and then I got Javonte Williams here coming on some third down. Would that upset you?
Yeah, well, Ashton Genty will be the starter. And they would be RB1 and Williams would be RB2. I wouldn't have a problem with it. And I think when you ask the question about what happened in the Rico Dowdle negotiations, I think the negotiation was only went as far as we were 32nd in the league in rushing touchdowns. Yeah. So the narrative wrote itself. There's nothing more to add. And here's the thing. When you take a running back like Saquon Barkley and you put him in when he was with the Giants, and he runs for 1,100 yards in the Giants offense.
Yeah. With
no quarterback and a B- offensive line. But then you
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I'm being generous. Okay. But then you take him and you send him over to Philly and now he's a 2,000-yard rusher. Okay. Let's take Rico Dowdle in this offense. Last year ran for 1,000 yards. Okay, that is documented even with the lack of touchdowns, his ability to hit pay dirt. Okay. Mm-hmm. Javonte Williams, you put Javonte Williams in this offense. He scored 4 touchdowns last year. Would he have more success in this offense? If we're talking about offensive linemen, I think we're going to give our offensive line a C+, C-, and I'm. But
are we talking about now or last year?
Okay, either way, what I'm saying is you could take running backs all around the league and put them in different offenses and they will have success, all right? I'm saying to you, look, I just think that Javonte Williams is a better running back. Based off of what I've seen from him, the way that he attacks holes, just on third down, those are different things that we did not get from Rico. And I don't want to have recency bias. I don't want to see a guy after the fact and go, oh, he's valuable to us. We should have held on to him. No, we need game changers. And there were plenty of games, Montre, that we went through, we watched, and it was like, damn, if we just had a halfway serviceable running back, that could be the difference in this game. Playoff games the same.
This is true. And I'm not defending letting Rico go because, like I said, you can always get better. You can go find those guys that are undrafted free agent, fifth-round pick that are out there doing it and that are coming in to be starters. But the good teams, the teams that I've been a part of, we all know that, yes, you have your star power guy, but then you have that second guy, but then you got to have depth. Why not? You telling me you couldn't have both of them on that? You couldn't have Rico and bring in
no.
And him to compete?
No. I don't think.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that is because I think you were going to go into this draft and you were going to get a running back anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do.
That's Hek'ma and I are sitting here like the RB1 is going to come day one or day two.
Oh no, for sure.
And you've played in the league, so you know that's probably one of the easiest positions to come in as a rookie and be a plug-in.
It definitely is, and so that's why I said I'm not really tripping about that. When I was alluding to letting stars go, I'm talking about more so Jordan Lewis. Like we letting him go.
But just look at the words you just used. Star. One rushing touchdown.
Star.
One rushing touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said with the Rico thing, I would have personally, if I can keep him here and I could have lowballed him or maybe gave him $5 million or $4 million and been like, hey, you stay here. I'd be like, hey,
$4?
Hey man, I'm gonna have a competition. You got to make it out of training camp.
He didn't get $4 in Carolina.
How many times? Well, I mean, I'm just saying, how many times have you paid somebody and then they not make it out of the training camp? Like I would have brought him. I would have just brought him back in. But that's why I don't get paid the big bucks. I'm a player.
And this is another thing that we have to also, and it gets not I say confused. It just gets lost at times. Mm-hmm. Mike McCarthy wasn't trying to run.
No, not at all.
Schottenheimer's trying to run, and then when I think about running, and you're a former defensive lineman. Javonte Williams is going to be a different type of look versus most likely what you're going to take at RB1. So the ability to bring in more, just say it's Genty, more of a Brahma Bull kind of guy, then Javonte Williams a little different, especially on the third down package. If I'm shoddy, I'm trying to run the ball, but also give you a couple different looks as I'm doing it, which is what Skip Pete always loved to have when he was here. When you had Zeke Elliott, and then you have Tony Pollard. Even in what they do in Tampa, and what Skip Pete was doing with Oakland, I thought, and I still think that's a good way to go about your running game. But Schottenheimer's going to be different. And when I look at Rico Dowdle, what does Rico bring you? To tell, and what does he do? To say, hey.
Nothing. If we're being completely honest. Nothing. So like I said.
So now he's a Jag. He's just a guy.
Yeah, he definitely is.
And that's why I say, what was the conversation like? Because just a guy should have signed for just some cash.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to figure out.
And that's 6.3. No, it's real. No. And listen, I'm absolutely not firing any shots at guys. This is about making the Dallas Cowboys better. Right. We are underachieving. And if we keep sitting here and saying to ourselves that these C- guys are going to get us A+ results, then we're fooling ourselves. And I'm not about fooling myself anymore. That's all I'm saying. You're talking about what Skip Pete's philosophy is having a change of pace running back. So to me, Williams says to me, I'm your third down guy. So whoever you get in the draft, he's going to be your slasher. He's going to be your guy that's going to get up in there, and he's going to be your game breaker. We didn't get any game breakers in free agency, to me. And that leads up to the draft being the end-all to be-all. And I just haven't trusted the draft in the last couple of years of bringing in that end-all to be-all type of guy.
Micah Parsons?
That was, that guy fell to you. He fell to you just like CeeDee Lamb fell to you. And it's almost impossible to make a bad decision when a guy falls to you.
Well, look at the teams who didn't take him.
Exactly.
The teams who passed. The teams who passed on Micah. The teams who passed on CeeDee.
They are slapping themselves.
Exactly.
They are slapping themselves because they made a mistake. I'm not sitting here acting like teams don't make mistakes draft night, or we're the only ones to do it. No. This is documented. All right. Okay. But I'm saying when you get a situation where you have a player that good, and at 12, if you have the kid from Penn State fall to 12, go get him. Okay, you get one of them offensive linemen fall to you at 12, go get him. Because that's just fortune being on your side.
And I think that's also by plugging some of the holes that they've plugged, you're allowing yourself at 12 to have several options.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I don't want to be as harsh and say that they're a C+ or a B, because you added cogs. You added cogs and you fix like these little small needs. Now it alleviates some of that pain and that pressure to say, okay, we got to go over here and do this. We can do this. We can take our time and make that right decision. So with free agency still going on, there's still chances, and there's still some big name guys out there that you can go get, and you add to the offense or defense. And then therefore, once you go there, you're going to kind of see when they get closer to the draft, like, okay, now that we done fixed those pieces in free agency, we know where we're going. We're either going running back or linebacker.
I just want to say this: that the moves, and I'm saying Solomon Thomas is solid, and I saw the signing as a rotational piece. The linebackers that they brought in, the guy from Chicago, Sandman, I think he's been a part of Eberflus's defense, so that makes sense. That's like Eric Kendricks last year with Mike Zimmer. You bring in a guy that already knows. Kenneth Murray Jr. I think that's a solid signing, right? He is a guy that can give you some depth and some pieces there. But I haven't seen, like, when we're if you're not on. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you played in the league. I don't care if you got Emmys. I don't care. If you're going into this season with the Dallas Cowboys and you're not saying that the Cowboys need offensive and defensive line help, then you're not seeing what the NFC is all about right now. NFC East is all about right now. Because teams like New York, the New York Giants got better on defense. The Washington Commanders got better on defense. The world champs are better. Okay, so if we're not talking about offensive, defensive line, because those are the weakest parts of your team right now.
Let's hit the break. When we come back, the Cowboys have said goodbye to Tank Lawrence.
Yeah.
How do we feel about it, and what's next?
Whistles.
Bottom line.
I got you.
We may have different reactions about this. We'll talk about it next with Trey Moore, Hek'ma Harris. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Dallas Cowboys Game Day is brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL. The NFL season is full of legendary tales on and off the field. And when you follow the captain within you, stories become stuff of legends. So gather your crew and visit followthecaptain.com to begin your adventure. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, New York.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1, any broadcast without the express addition of cook-to-order Cane's chicken fingers is prohibited. Rule 12, no crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, or craveable Cane sauce constitutes an illegal formation. And Rule 31, anybody who loves to feed their game face is an eligible receiver of Cane's. When it comes to winning game day, Cane's rules. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Go Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The Dallas Cowboys Girl Flag Football League is here with nearly 100 participants. With nearly 100 participating high schools, the Cowboys are thrilled to provide opportunities for athletes to develop their talent and foster the growth of girls flag football in the state of Texas. Find teams, view schedules, and learn more at DallasCowboys.com/girlsflag.
It's a sport over at Texas Wesleyan.
Yes.
It is a sport.
Yeah.
So collegiate sports. So
Danny McCray is leading the spearheading that, man. That's awesome. Used to be a member here of the Players Lounge.
Shout out.
Danny McCray.
yes.
Oh, man.
Go.
Yes, they were actively searching for Cowboys. Another person they had interviewed for the job on that too. So glad Danny's got that, and good luck to him. So guess that means we're going to have to take the cameras on out there and go
Check him out.
get something with Danny.
There's some extra pressure over there now.
Yes, and then we're getting after those LSU Tigers over.
Oh, wow. Is that a shot fire?
That is, it's always a shot fire. It is not
was about
a
to
shoot.
say, man.
Danny, you cut Danny open, baby.
It's purple.
Purple and gold, man.
It's purple.
LSU Tiger. I mean, he is die hard, and when you win national championship, you should be.
Hello.
You should be for life.
Ooh.
Man.
Don't hate.
Ain't nobody
Appreciation.
Brother, I'm sure they offered you.
No, they didn't.
They didn't offer you?
I wish. They started talking to me, and they had Mike Davis, and then all of a sudden, I was already committed to the A&M, though. So, but I did. Secretly, I was like, oh, just knocking my door a little bit harder, and we can have a conversation. But they knew I was marooned out, baby. The best thing smoking. We was out there rolling. Boy, you see what happened the first year in the SEC. They got away from us. Little kitty paw. I don't want to hear that. Reveille the dog.
Leave it alone, Newy. Just come on, what you
Do it. Leave it. Hey, next topic. What you say? We talking about other people right now. Leave my school alone.
This
We
is,
doing good.
Players Lounge brought to you by Mr. Crack Game.
Yes, that's
He is Trey Moore, former
Yes.
Texas A&M Aggie,
proud.
Giant, and Dallas Cowboy.
My man.
Harrison is here. I'm Newy Scruggs. So, Hek'ma Harrison,
Yes, sir.
how are we feeling now that Tank Lawrence is a member of the Seattle Seahawks? 3 years, $42 million for an older football player on the wrong side of 30.
Okay. First of all, let me just say,
Did I-
You did not. You did not.
DeMarcus
You
Lawrence.
did not.
DeMarcus Lawrence out of Boise State
story.
literally gave us everything for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, and a guy that I credit Coach Leon Lett for developing him, turning him into the player that he is, and he ended up being great at stopping the run. Gave us a lot of years, man. And I know it's a lot of times when guys leave, it's easy to throw shade or say what they were or were not, right? Yeah. I'm just going to say he's a great player, a great leader on and off the field, and hate to see him go, but at 32 years old to get a $18 million bag for 1 year, I think that is incredible. And that is incredible. And then there are a lot of players that have played this game that are jealous about that bag.
Me. I'll tell you right now.
Out yourself.
Me. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna stand on. I'm 32 and I'm sitting over here like I look good. I know my get off is still nice. I might have to go over here and take the Eberflus. Hey, I played in your deep.
Go right that way.
Let me talk to you, but that's another topic for another day. But exactly.
Yes,
but go
sir.
ahead, keep finishing.
No, man. I mean, it is what it is. He did his thing. He got paid. And shout out to the Lawrence family. And it's one of those players, man. You hate to see leave and hope that he has success.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna piggyback off of that as far as like the player and the person. Hey, shout out to my boy D-Law. Hey, Hot Boys, all that. As a player, you love when you see players get paid, especially at this age. Now, whoever his agent is, hats off to them. You went in there with no ski mask and said, hey, drop out right now. It was for D-Law, he won. Seattle, I think it was definitely a reach as far as the age range and stuff like that. But as far as what he has done for the Cowboys organization, don't be surprised if you don't see Tank Lawrence's name in the Ring of Honor because of what he was able to do. Him being somebody that you brought in your own talent. You can put your hand on your face all you want to, Newy.
Yeah.
Like, as a run stopper, he's been that focal piece for them. Like, he has been. He's made.
Yeah.
What you gotta say? He's made those. He's done
some great things. He's done some great things. But Ring of Honor, that's rich.
Rick.
It's rich.
Ring of Honor.
Rich.
That's rich.
It's ridiculous.
It's rich.
Ridiculous.
You don't think he's gonna be one of those old guys later on? You get that phone call and be like, "Hey, Tank."
Nah.
For what?
Yeah.
People do it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm reach.
It's okay.
How long has he been here?
So somebody put on social media, and I
don't put it on
a few
social
times.
media. I just wanted to go viral one time.
I hit back. It said that Tank was the most underrated Cowboy in history, and you've now talked about Cowboy Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Do you realize what the criteria is to get in there?
And who's in it?
Okay.
I'll
It's
help
all
out.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It is
It's all good.
Go ahead.
Super Bowl champions
Okay.
and Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Those are the people that go into the Cowboys Ring of Honor.
Okay. I apologize.
Now, no apology needed because this is my ability. Because you're a young guy. You're a young guy.
Educate me, please.
Where me goes back into Hek'ma and I's time watching the Cowboys. The most underrated Dallas Cowboy, and he, by the way, is not in the Ring of Honor and should be, is the beautiful Harvey Martin.
All day long.
Harvey Martin was a Defensive Player of the Year, 1977,
All day long.
23 sacks.
Never mind.
He was
Say no
also co-MVP of Super Bowl 12, along with the great, legendary Randy White. When I think of Hall of Fame, and he's got over 100 sacks in his career, that is a player who should be. I can't imagine another organization outside of this one that would not have put Harvey Martin already into their Ring of Honor for a career like that. Tank Lawrence had a good career. The problem of not doing anything significant in the last 30 years is people start using the words like legend, as I saw many times with disappointed Cowboy fans with Tank Lawrence leaving. Tank Lawrence was a good football player. He was a part of these teams who won nothing. He was a part of these teams that teased us, that never got over the hump. It was the Yoda, do or do not. There is no try group.
Yeah.
32 years old, congratulations to you and your agents for getting this deal. But the problem I have with this is Jerry, through the years, has gone out of his way to pay this type of player when at a certain point in time you need to move on. Once again, you're young, but there was a gentleman here who played left tackle for many years named Flozell Adams. Probably stayed about 3 or 4 years too long because they were afraid to look forward.
I remember Flo. Don't do me like that.
And when Flo left, they were forced and they drafted Tyron Smith, who is a guy we want to talk about potential Ring of Honor Hall of Famer. He's got that type of resume that that you could think about in those terms.
Ty needs a gold jacket. I don't care what nobody says.
He'll be in the conversation. You know, when they sit around here and discuss who's in the Hall of Fame, they'll have a conversation for Tyron Smith. There will be no conversation for Tank.
Once again, after you just gave me a nice BTA session, I apologize. But I'm also gonna defend what I said. I was wrong. But with me being younger and stuff like that, we all can admit that the Cowboy they're an organization that goes off of the media, the outside noise, what's going out there. And so with that being said, for Tank in this era to do the things that he done, to play here for as long as he did, to get the bag that he did and be a fan favorite, I think that now knowing who's not in there and they could be in there, yes, of course, he should not be in there. But I think that, like you said, the fan base will be sitting there saying, legendary. This is one of our guys. In the last 30 years, we haven't had anything to be proud of. So we're proud of developing him as a player. We're proud of him always representing the Cowboys, having those legendary moments of sitting there saying, hey, real talk, being unapologetically him, bringing back that old Cowboy era feeling of, hey, we're the bad boys. What did he say to the media one day? Hey, real talk, y'all don't know, but I'll slap all y'all. Like, having those iconic moments are going to push the fan base to say, hey, push them in there. Now, we all know that the Jones family don't budge when they don't want to budge. Like, just because you bark at them and doing all that, but I'm saying that they will put that pressure on there. So from that standpoint, I was coming from there. I was coming from him playing for a long time and being a good guy. But after the
criteria,
you're right. You're right.
The Super Bowls in his Hall of Fame. That's the only way you make it. And for me, it's his leadership. It's the kind of guy I look at guys like this. You know, there's so many of these guys over the years that have been menaces outside of the building. Yeah. That hasn't been him. He's been a family man. He's taking care of his business. He's been in a community activist. He's done a lot of great things. Leadership-wise, he's led the charge on, you know, every time the Cowboys are brought with Micah, with other guys, with showing them how to be pros in this league. And that's what I applaud for him, okay? And to see him, again, his agent, the people involved, Seattle, to say that, hey, maybe there's still some juice on the vine. Yeah. Let's go ahead and bring him in. The $18 million, that is a lot. But at the same time, I applaud any player at this point in time in their career that's able to go out and get a bag.
And now that we applauded him, gave him his flower, let's talk about stat-wise. Do you think that he deserved that bag, and do you think that he's going to live up to that bag?
I think coming off of the injuries that he's had, if he Look. Okay, let me just say it like this. The NFC West is a weaker division with San Francisco moving on the way that they have. And so I think he'll have some success in the NFC West. Okay, so that's what I think. I think Tank, if he's healthy, he could come in and he can have some – don't you go to the –
He's about to go to the
Yeah, I'm just saying to you that he can start the season off and he can have some – that's all. That's literally all I'm saying. Help you do that.
You going to go around the way.
Hey, he's waltzing. Right now. That's what you doing. I didn't know you had sweet feet like that.
All right, man, not going to do that.
All right.
She's smart. and man, she just says some funny things, man.
Man.
Boy, she comes into a room and lights it up all the time. And people really like her.
But it ain't the it factor.
So, yeah, man. He can have some success.
Hey, shout out to Tank getting paid. Hey, so long, sir. Farewell. But now we got to talk about who is coming in. Who's going to replace that?
What you've got now is first thing, and this is what they do as an organization. They're looking inside. Mm-hmm. Okay. You've got Marshawn Nealon, who they drafted. Year number 2, and then you're going to have Sam Williams coming back. So they're going to look there. And then, of course, you have the ability to go into the draft as well. So this is where, as they start to look down the road at 12, what do? They could, and we don't talk about it much, they may decide this year we'll move up.
I was just about to say, do you think they will move? Do you think that there's a chance to where the Cowboys will move up and say, hey, this is our guy? Like,
if you're going to be selectively aggressive this year and you think that there's a particular player that either Schottenheimer says can help my offense, which will help my defense, or vice versa, that could happen. Yeah. Or we could see them be as smart as they were with Micah Parsons when they traded down 2 slots and say, hey, look, you know what? We know somebody's going to come up to take our spot. And it was Philadelphia, who wanted the receiver.
Yeah.
And it worked out perfect for Philly and Dallas.
Yes,
Philly got a receiver who helped win a Super Bowl. Dallas ended up dropping down and got themselves a fantastic player in Micah Parsons. So they could do that too, to be in a situation where, hey, we can play with this thing a little bit and add. Mm-hmm. But saying goodbye to Tank Lawrence, to me, is just one of the moves you have to. At 32 years old, he gets to reunite with 8 and Dirty in Seattle. Maybe they're going to have a different plan. But right now, if you'd have brought him back to do what he used to do here at 32 years old and the injuries, I say no.
My biggest question to you, Newy, is do you think that was 2 years too late?
Let's talk about that right after the break. That's an excellent question with Hek'ma Harrison, Trey Moore. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes, and next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're maxing out overhead presses, pushing through chest flies, or being the hero your golden retriever needs to carry them over that scary bridge, Smoothie King has the fuel to help you go all out. Build muscle and boost your recovery with 45 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and delicious customizable ingredients in the Gladiator Smoothie. Available in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Only at Smoothie King.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The PBR World Finals are returning to AT&T Stadium. It all starts on May 16th with Kid Rock's Rockin' Rodeo. Then on May 17th and 18th, the finalists compete in the 2025 PBR Championship. Let's rock and ride. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
Hek'ma Harrison, thank you very much. It's Trey Moore, former Cowboy.
Okay.
Man, you see my
Newy
vest?
I wasn't going to say nothing about his vest, bro. It's all gravy. Is that leather?
Nah, it's not.
It's not? No. It looks leather from here.
Suede.
It's suede. Okay.
Looks good.
Cow skin.
Looks good.
Leather?
No.
Okay.
Leather, smooth, rubbery.
Okay.
You see the fur?
It's nice. Did you come in on a Harley?
What about you?
What are you talking?
Don't do that now.
What are you talking? I got on my first grade teacher cowboy sweater today. Come on, man.
It's vintage though.
Thank you.
Hey man, I just want to be like you, bro. I'm just trying to do something.
Hek'ma, you had a question.
Stop bullying me.
I'm not.
Hey, I know I messed up with the Ring of Honor comment, guys.
No,
relax.
No,
relax.
We just check. We just put a little check mark.
Now it's like, let it just go on him. You done messed up now.
It was just like that WWE. Hold on.
Hold on. Hey, boy, what you did was, since you want to be WWE, y'all just hit the Dudley brothers. You told him, get the table. And next thing you know, you just see him climbing up. Newy's climbing up. And he said, you know what? I'm going to just give you a
what I did?
power bomb.
I did the Homer Simpson. I just disappeared into the shrubs. What you did.
But then as soon as, he didn't already pin me, it's over. One, two, three, we come back from break. You give me another kick like,
It's all good.
Really wasn't about you. It was really more my social media engagement with a guy who said, when he said Tank was the most underrated Cowboy in history, I was like,
No.
What do you know?
Once again,
definitely.
And I attribute, I have to say youngster.
This is true.
Youngsters who don't remember the beautiful hard art.
Don't group all of us together.
But I'm just saying that was more. It was more for that.
Hey, whoever said that, don't ever say that again. Remember Harvey Martin.
Yes, sir.
Newy gonna come for you, boy.
Yeah, remember Harvey Martin.
Don't get me no BTA sessions like that no more.
Here's what I say. Lord help him if they could draft another Harvey Martin. If you had another Harvey, boy, life would be.
Life is great.
Eberflus would get another head coaching job because he'd get a guy like that who's that dominant on the defensive line. But Hek'ma, you had a question.
My question is that for many people, with the injuries and everything, and he signed a deal with the Cowboys 2 years ago, I believe. Was it 2 years too late for letting go or releasing DeMarcus Lawrence?
Yes. Yes, and I go back before. This has been an issue for Jerry Jones as a general manager. He's held on to guys too long. And, I had mentioned Flozell Adams, coming out of Michigan State in the second round. Flozell had a really, really good career. But toward the end, Jerry just kept holding on. And the job of a general manager, and they had an old baseball term, better to let them go a year too early than a year too late. Yeah. Bill Belichick's your classic example of a head coach who would let a guy go too early. I mean, Tom Brady being one of them.
Yeah.
In the old adage, better than 2 years too late, because now 2 years too late, you've spent money, you've attached capital to it, especially now with the way the salary cap works. And you look at Ezekiel Elliott. When they ended up cutting him. I was just about
to say that's another good example.
And the money, people forget. They were paying twice last year on Zeke. You were paying more money under dead cap money because you cut him than you paid him the actual salary money. Because when they cut him 2 years ago, they had the dead cap space that they spread out. And so, yes, this has been the issue because the general manager, who's also the owner, has become affinity and a like to the player. Your GM's got to be cutthroat.
Definitely.
Your GM's got to see the glass of water and say, boy, that thing is dirty. We need to clean it out, and it may be a crack in the glass. That's what your general manager needs to do. Your owner needs to be to do, hey, man, you know what? That's half full. I like that water. I think it's going to taste fine. The fans are going to like it. But when you're the same guy, you can compete against who wins out. The owner usually going to win out.
Of course.
Over the general manager because he owns the team, and he may like the player, and then the smart Cowboy players go right up to the owner.
Yeah. Exactly. That's been the history. That's been the history with ownership, and I think for years people have documented that, owner and general manager Jerry Jones becomes enamored with certain players, and they may hold on too long. I just felt like at the point in time where Tank Lawrence was in his career, you kind of felt like you could have gotten more out of him during those 2 years. And then the foot injury obviously sidelines everything. Now, the Zeke example that's an example of another bad decision, bringing back a player that was now a shadow of himself. And there was no way to know that other than you make that bad decision, you bring him in, you recognize he ain't what he used to be.
I mean, he wasn't what he used to be when he was here. So if you're being completely honest, you're living on that sword and you're dying on that sword. Like, I love it. As a player, you would love it when you meet those owners that you say, hey, you got my back and you're going to keep me here. But as a fan, as somebody that wants stat production, you hate it because, like you said, your job to be a GM is to be cutthroat. Like, you want to let them go early and still get some bang for your buck to where it's like, hey, if you would have let Tank go earlier, 2 years earlier, you possibly could have got a first round for him. You possibly could have got second, third round, somebody to pick up that capital, and then you go over there, spread that money out, and then have some high draft picks. But now it's like you let him go for tools and fuels, and somebody else paid him a big bag. So it's like, what are we doing?
Go back to Zeke. The thing about Zeke at the end of the first tenure was once you decided to bring in Mike McCarthy as the head coach, a guy who was a passing guy who never really hit
you had the perfect
Zeke's contract was it wasn't the same because what do we see the best of him? 20 plus carries. That's not what Mike McCarthy was trying to do.
No.
And so that was, in some ways, I have a sympathy for Zeke in terms of, people, oh man, you're not this, you're not that. But the game changed. Once you brought in Mike McCarthy, his value went down. And then we saw him as a player dip down too. So, so you got two things happening. One, you're paying a guy to do something that they're not going to ask him to do anymore. And two, the talent level just went down because as a running back, you only have so many hits in the body. And he just wasn't the player he used to be. So now it just turns out to be a whole tough thing. And now people are killing him personally and not always looking at the whole thing of, yes, your game has gone down, but, oh, by the way, the head coach is not one of them.
Now, here's the thing. At the version of Zeke that Mike inherited wasn't the Zeke that was on the downside of his career. I mean, you're still.
I think so at the end with his last year, the last 2 years he was there, and so you weren't. I don't think you were on the show then, but Barry used to call him a fullback.
Okay.
And you said
that sounds like Barry.
Yeah, he'd gained weight. He wasn't what he used to be, and Danny was right there in terms of they.
In 2020,
he was though.
In 2020, he was more of a. I mean,
I'm just saying this
is after.
This was the feeling of the show at the time that he wasn't what he used to be.
Okay.
And the head coach came in here, and obviously it was a disastrous year with Mike Nolan, the whole thing. Yeah. It just wasn't what it used to be. And then once Skip left, it was really bad because now. Remember, Tony Pollard started coming up. Remember that? Yeah. Zeke's last 2 years, it was clear Tony was the better player. Mm-hmm. And then they were doing, well, he's a start running back and that kind of thing. But Tony was the better player. But they were trying to respect Ezekiel Elliott and which spits in the face all day long. And when we talk about competition, we talk about the best guy playing.
Yeah. That's whatever the bag gonna play. I don't care what nobody say. There's very few organizations that have that mantra that competition is gonna play, and those guys that have that mantra and really believe in that philosophy are your champion winning organizations. Other people have they say competition and stuff like that, but let's be realistic. It is the bag. If I pay you this money, I'm expecting you to play. And then not only that, they're going to live and die on that sword and say, maybe he's going to show us what he was. Like whoever decides to give them the bag, whether it's owner, GM, not talking about just the Cowboys, everybody, they're going to try to make that decision right. And that is what we've seen in Ezekiel Elliott. They tried to make that decision right, and it wasn't right. Not only the players, the guys that we're talking about it that were on the show, but most of the players around the league felt that sentiment. he was a fragment of himself. He was still leading the league in fumbles before he got paid and after he got paid. He was one of the highest fumbling guys there. And then after he got paid, like you said, the mini fridge came into him. It wasn't explosive. It wasn't getting out of there and you have horsepower. Now you have the Pony Express. When you bring that miniature pony in there and you say, Mommy, I want a horse, and then you say, oh, I think I'm about to get a Clydesdale coming through here, the Coca-Cola horses coming through there, and then all of a sudden you pull up with the circus mini pony, you're like, yo, what is this? And now you think that this is going to transform. This is not Cinderella. They should have. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm getting off the rail.
Yes,
it wasn't a Cinderella moment. You should have let it go. And then even when you had that bag, you should have traded him or did something else and realized where it was at because he was not there.
Get ready to get out of here. Thoughts on Cooper Kupp? The Rams letting him go. He'll be a free agent. He's had family members who've been part of the Cowboy organization as players. Thoughts?
Go ahead.
I feel like my thoughts are going to be like Hex when he sit there and say, hey, what are we doing with bringing in all these cog pieces and stuff like that? But also in the same regard, Cooper Kupp has proven that he can make the plays. He's proven to be a good quality piece in the locker room and being a vet. And you don't need somebody to come in here and be that number one guy when you have CeeDee Lamb, but you also need to have a guy that has that power. And yes, does he have that power? But is he still there? So I'm a little on the fence. Like, yeah, I'm glad you got the connection here in the family base and you have the former stardom, but I think there's better quality receivers that you possibly can go out there and reach for. But we'll see.
When healthy, Cooper Kupp is one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yes.
When healthy. And that's the biggest question. I mean, we were just talking about a guy in Tank Lawrence when what was the cap when to get to move on, and it looks like the Rams have come to the conclusion with a guy that obviously was a couple years ago a 2,000-yard receiver to move on from that. Puka Nacua is showing what he has, and now they bring in Devontae Adams. Look, I'm just going to say it straight up. The Cowboys have to make a move to get a solidified number 2 wide receiver in the building with CeeDee. You have to. You have to get him some help. Whether you get it in the draft or whether you get it in free agency, you have to make a move to open this offense up because last year showed you, man, you were handcuffed by the fact that teams could double team your star wide receiver.
So do you think Cooper is that guy? You didn't say that. You danced around the question. Do you think
when healthy?
When healthy, yeah.
When healthy.
But what do you think you're getting right now in Cooper Kupp?
I don't know.
And that's the mine's are the same.
We just added to this caveat. If you could give him basically your Brandon Cook salary of $10 million that you paid him last year,
I think he could be a better Brandon Cook. Yes,
absolutely.
I think so for sure.
And that's how I see it. I see if you could get Cooper Kupp at $10, $11 million a year.
Oh yeah, still
put him over there with CeeDee Lamb and a trusted type of player for Dak Prescott out there.
Because what do we need Cooper Kupp to do? We need him to move the chains.
Yes.
We need to be a possession receiver, and we need him to be solid in red zone.
And one-on-one coverage is what he'll get.
And I think he will, but the only thing is I don't want to see you overpay for him. I don't want it to be a Tank Lawrence situation where you go out here and give him all this bread and then you're sitting here saying, dang. You don't think so? Well, no, I don't think.
No, it's gonna be. We got to get out of here. Trey, good stuff. Heck, good stuff. Chris Beam, everybody here at DallasCowboys.com. We appreciate you. I'm Newy Scruggs. We're out.
Sure.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,